Hey there, Lee Hayward, back in the kitchen, demonstrating my culinary skills here as I'm spicing up some chicken breasts. What I'm going to do now is get these chicken breasts all spiced up, and I'm going to bake them in the oven. And this is a great way to cook up a lot of chicken in a relatively short period of time, because it doesn't take any longer to cook up a ton of chicken, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chicken breasts than it does to cook up one chicken breast. So this is a great way to prepare your meals in advance and have lots of food on hand so that you can reheat it, and instead of be wondering, what am I going to eat, you'll have your meals prepared in advance. And this is what you got to do if you want to stick to a bodybuilding nutrition program. Now, in case you're, oh shoot, I'm dropping the blankets here, or the dish rag. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I am putting on salt, pepper, and a roasted garlic and pepper mix, and this is going to add some nice flavor to these chicken breasts. Like my little finger tap, it gets the spice out and all set up and ready to go. Okay, so the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And I'm going to bake those suckers for a while until they start to cook, and then I'm going to flip it over to broil, so I cook them from the bottom first, and then flip it to broil, so I cook them from the top. And when you're cooking chicken or any food like this in advance, purposely undercook it a little bit. And the reason for that is when you go to reheat it later on, then you won't end up overcooking and drying up your chicken. So purposely undercook it just a tad so that when you reheat it, it actually tastes pretty good. So chicken is on. Now we're going to cook up a big old pot of quinoa. Don't you just love how that sounds? Quinoa. sounds exotic or something. All right. It's coming alive! The bird is kicking! A big old bag of quinoa. And for this one, when you're cooking this up, it's a 2-to-1 ratio of quinoa to water, or water to quinoa, whatever. Bottom line, twice as much water as you put in quinoa. So I'm going to use 2 cups, which means 4 cups of water. And chances are this is all going to be outlined on the bag, so you don't need to kind of take notes and remember this. Alright, let's bring this over to the sink. I'm going to use filtered water for this. So 1 cup. 2 cups of water. I feel like the Count from Sesame Street. 3 cups of water. And 4 cups of filtered water. Cooking can be fun, I don't know, especially when you're just half nuts. So there we go. Actually, I'm going to move that in out of the way so it's not taking up too much space. Put it on the inside burner. And what I'm going to do with this, bring that to a vicious boil. So it is boiling like a savage pot of quinoa, and then just turn it off and let it steam. And it can cook in its own steam. So there we go. That is a boiling savage pot of quinoa. And now all you have to do is turn it off and let it cook in its own steam. And by the time the chicken is ready, the quinoa should be ready. And it's a very simple way to cook it without having it burn onto the bottom of the pot. Because chances are you've probably done it, I sure have, where you leave it on, like you turn it on low, and you think, okay, well I'm just gonna let it simmer on low, and it still ends up burning on and sticking to the bottom of the pot. But bring it to a mad, savage, vicious boil, and then just turn it off and leave it covered, and the steam will continue to cook the quinoa, and you can do the same thing with rice or whatever, and it won't burn and stick onto the bottom of the pot. So another little culinary trick from the Hayward's kitchen. So there are the chickens, and they are looking mighty good. So what I'm going to do now, this is after about 10 minutes on 350 degrees, so I'm going to flip it over to broil, and that basically turns on the top element of the stove. So we have cooked it for about 10 minutes from the bottom, and then I'm going to cook it for about another 5 minutes from the top, and that will probably be enough for these chickens that I'm going to keep for future meals, because again, you don't want to overcook them, and they're going to continue to cook a little bit in just the heat of the chicken itself. One of the problems is when you're cooking up food in advance, if you overcook it right from the get-go and then you go and reheat it again later on, you're just going to dry it out and be like chewing on a piece of rubber. So if you undercook it just a little bit, it actually maintains a bit of moisture and maintains some flavor, and you're not like cooking the bejesus out of your chicken, and it tastes much better when you go to reheat it. So again, wait another 5 minutes and that should be done. I'm going to give that quinoa a stir. It's actually looking pretty good. Like I say, just cooking in its own steam, and all the water is almost absorbed, so that's good. Alright, so this chicken is ready to take out. Again, I don't want to overcook that stuff. What I'm going to do now is put the chicken in a glass dish for storing for a meal for another day. And again, this is still very moist, plump, and juicy, just like me. Ooh, that one fell apart a bit. There we go. So I'm going to take out most of these chicken, leave in a couple, because what I'm going to do is put those back in the oven for another few minutes just to fully cook them, because I'm going to eat those right now. It's time to eat. Gotta eat, right? Gotta eat. So I want to continue cooking those just for another few minutes so that they're fully cooked. The other ones that are in the glass dish are going in the refrigerator as soon as they cool and be stored for future meals. So I'm just going to leave those two. Let them continue cooking for another 5 minutes or so until they're cooked all the way through. No pink in the middle. And there you go. That is the final outcome. We have a complete bodybuilding meal with baked chicken, quinoa, and a side of a garden salad. And that's a good little rule of thumb when you're preparing your meals, to always think of 1/3 protein, 1/3 starchy carbohydrates, and 1/3 vegetables. That's a good way to make sure that you're getting an ideal split of nutrients and getting a very complete nutrition. So there you go. That looks mighty fine. I'm getting hungry, and my beautiful wife is ready to join me for a meal. So there we go. Another culinary creation brought to you by the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Kitchen. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for some more cooking videos coming your way. Take care. Over and out.
And one more thing before you go, make sure to subscribe to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. And while you're at it, you can even like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Heck, you can even join the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Inner Circle Coaching Club. And you know what? I even have a free gift for you. You can download a copy of my Bodybuilding Nutrition Made Simple ebook. The link is right there in the middle of the screen. So go ahead, click on those icons, and I look forward to chatting with you in the next video.